And I've been talking to myself. Good morning. I hope you're all well. So it's only the four of us with our host included. I'm sure the rest of the kids will join. I think, and I hope I'm not getting in trouble for this. Let's give it another 2 minutes just to make sure that some kids are still joining. I have a lot to do with you guys. Okay, so it's 4 learners. Lesedi is hier, Nhlanhla is here, Helen is here, Amugelang's here. Who's also usually here? Is Hazim not also here sometimes? Okay, right. It is now 2 minutes after, so I think I'm going to start. Mosaya is also not here. Natalie, yeah, that's strange that Natalie is not here. So let's give till 5 past, see if there's some children pitching. And then we'll start. I quickly want to talk to you guys about assessments as well. I'm sure that you are all waiting. Hi, Teta. I'm sure that you're all waiting to hear. 5-2, we'll start. Okay, guys, it's 4 minutes past. I think that I'm going to start. I don't want to waste time. Okay, okay, so Natalie's doing some chores. Part of life, I understand. Okay, guys, so for those of you who are here, I'm not sure how many of you have actually got your assessments back. So Mrs. Tsele is our HOD. And because it's languages, she advised that I actually go through the tests as well and then mark. So for instance, in language, I know that most of you do the comprehension test, and then there's a set answer in the memo, but sometimes you write something that also makes sense, or you've just put in it in other words, and then the system won't pick it up automatically. And I agree then, that me as a teacher should go through it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There's 500 kids to mark everything in time, but I'm sure that ATG will then have a plan in place for that. So I'm very privileged then to actually go through your papers. Now, guys, I have marked some of them, and I have seen that it went a bit tough here and there. But remember what I said to you guys yesterday. This is your first assessment with me. That's the first thing. The second thing whether you were able to pass it or not, or whether you were able to do anything or not, we are getting to know each other. So you are getting to know the way I ask things and so on. And also, um, and also, guys, it is okay if you maybe didn't do so well now. Remember, guys, this is just an assessment and it's informal. So I want you guys to breathe. I want you guys to learn from the mistakes that you maybe made. And when you get your assessment back, remember I only send it to you. You can have a look at it with the memo, which is on the assessment. Okay. So yes, Helen was the only one that was me with me and the host earlier. But let us concentrate now. Is there any questions with regards to the test? Hi, Natalie. So happy to see you. Well, yeah, that is now very nice. I see that most of my kids are here. Quickly, tell me, how are you okay with the assessments? Can I go on with the lesson? All right. Okay. Okay. So let's start today. As always, I say important lesson. I never do stuff which is not important. In Afrikaans and languages, everything is important because it builds up on each other. Now, today we're going to do Direkte and Indirekte Rede. Now, for most of you, I can almost hear the heartbeat. Simone, or is it Simone or Simone? Don't be confused. Don't be confused. Don't worry. This class, you are on Afrikaans FAL grade 8, and we want to welcome you. And we are going to do direct and indirecte rede today. And usually within the lesson, we take pictures and you can talk about the content. You'll see that there's also chats about other stuff going on. Usually I talk to them and I ask them not to do that. So usually ek raas so bietjie, but it is okay. This is a very social class. I like it when the kids talk. So yeah, welcome to the class. We're doing direct and indirekte rede. Let us start with this lesson. Okay, so as I'm listening now, I can hear your hearts beating very fast. I can hear you are breathing very fast, and I can hear that you are anxious because this is direkte and indirekte rede, and most kids, especially those that doesn't have Afrikaans as a home language, they are worried because this is a very difficult thing to do. But breathe in and breathe out. What I've done in this PowerPoint is firstly, lots of research. Secondly, I got the most amazing resources from the internet. Mrs. Van Sail, or I don't know if it's a Mrs. or Mr. Van Sail, who had amazing PowerPoint. And then I used an Explorer textbook, and I use a lot of other textbooks and resources. So within this lesson, there is a lot of things that we can actually look at and learn from in this lesson. So now, oh, Helen, your third language. You see, and you're very good at it. I've seen in some of your answers and everything. So breathe in, breathe out. Let us start. Direct, first of all. Remember, that is the direct words that I am talking to you guys now that's coming out of my mouth. If I say I am sitting on the chair, then it means I'm literally, the words that I've just said is I'm sitting in the chair. Oh, Simone, jou eerste taal. Dit is goed om te hoor. So is it Simon of Simone? I think it's Simone. So jy's Afrikaans. Huh, great. All right, let's start. First of all, the quote for today. Your corny teacher have a quote for you here. Study while others are sleeping. Work while others are loafing. Prepare while others are playing. And dream while others are wishing. Hard work equals success. Remember that, grade 8. Alright, klaar daai gedoen. Direkte rede. I want you all to say something for yourself now. Say something. Anything. As long as it's good. Say something. Make up a sentence for yourself. Helen is saying hello. Okay. So Helen, that is your direct words that just came out of your mouth. You said hello. So if I had to write that in the direct reason, I would have said Helen said dubbelpunt aanhalingstekens hello. And then I close the sentence. You see what I'm saying? Now, that is what direct speech is. Now, please remember, dit is die direkte woorde van iemand presies soos hulle dit sê. So it's exactly what they are saying. Hier word spesifieke leestekens gebruik. Specific punctuation. Other than the punt, which is the full stop, the vraagteken of uitroepteken, the question, Helen, what on earth did you just say there? That is now interesting. You see, you guys are taking my attention away from the work. What is that? Okay, interesting. Okay, so other for the fact that we actually use a punt and a vraagteken and an uitroepteken, we also use the double punt and the aanhalingstekens and the comma, which is, I don't know what you call a double punt in Afrikaans, so I'm just going to say double full stop, which is that little thing there before the example. Do you see there? Then aanhalingstekens, which is inverted commas, and then the comma. The colon. Thank you, Amugelang. Now, Lesedi and Helen, I don't mean to be rude, but can you please concentrate? Please. This is a very important lesson. You need to concentrate. Okay? I'm not rasing, I'm begging you to concentrate. Now, there is an example. There is a woman, and I don't know if that it seems like a man. And they are talking to each other. And the woman is saying, Ek kan nie hoor nie, jy breek op. She's saying, I can't hear you breaking up. And then you'll see that literally the man is breaking up. So guys, if you look at that, that is the direct words that comes out of her mouth. So it can't change. That is her direct words. And now, from Mr. or Mrs. Oh, it's Mrs. Look there. Oh, my word. It's Mrs. Van Zyl. Out of her PowerPoint, you'll see here, there's 3 types of sentences. She gives an example here. Now, when I write a sentence in the direct speech, there is 3 ways I can write it. In the stelsinne, in die vraagsinne, and in the bevelsinne. Now, if you see the stelsin here, a stelsin is a normal sentence, just a normal sentence, like I've said earlier. Ek sit op die stoel. I'm sitting on the chair. Ek hang die wasgoed op. I'm hanging the washing. Now, if you look at this 3 sentences here, if it's in the direct speech, sy het gesê, then I use the colon, then the inverted commas, and then the direct words this person is saying in that. So, ek voel nie baie goed nie. That is the direct words that came out of her mouth. Or I can write it like this. Inverted commas, ek voel nie baie goed nie, then a comma, stop the inverted comma, het sy gesê. Or I can write it like this. Ek, in inverted commas, with a comma, het gesê, of het sy gesê, comma, then the rest, voel nie baie goed nie. Please note that the punctuation, the full stop, or the vraagteken, or the uitroepteken is before the inverted comma closes the sentence. So those are the 3 ways you can actually write the stelsin. Then a vraagsin. Remember, a vraagsin is a question sentence. Look there. Hy vra. Wanneer kom jy terug? Look there, the question mark. Then the other one. Inverted commas. Wanneer kom jy terug? Vra hy. Of wanneer, komma, vra hy, komma, kom jy terug? Do you all understand so far? Let me hear. Yes, Lesedi. So in that Afrikaans Bible, I usually say a handbook for the English students. You can find that on page 36 to 37. Well done. Okay, so almal verstaan. Thank you. Now bevelsinne. I can't remember what this is in English. This morning I remembered, but now I forgot. Bevelsinne, it's an order. Okay? So, pa beveel, dubbelpunt, aanhalingstekens. Piet, sit nou dadelik stil. Do you see how that a command sentence? Thank you, Amugelang. Amugelang, you must come and teach me English. Then Piet, sit nou dadelik stil. Do you see there? And then Piet, beveel pa, sit nou dadelik stil. Those are also the 3 ways you can write a command sentence. Now, please, take a picture of this. And thank you to Mrs. J. Van Zyl. Okay, Natalie is done. Okay, guys, I've just heard that I'm talking too loud, and that my baby's going to wake up, so I'm going to talk a bit softer. So if you can't hear me, just say. But I'm sure that your ears are also very hurt now because I'm talking too loud. All right, then we go to the indirect speech. Picture a few tannies, aunties, or oomies sitting on chairs around the table, and they are skinnering. They are telling each other stories, talking about other people, drinking tea, eating cake. They are skinnering. That is almost what we can say is the indirect speech. That is people who's telling other people what somebody said. All right. So let's look at the indirect speech. Dit werk baie dieselfde as direct and indirect speech in English. So it works more or less the same. This is when jy vertel iemand se direkte woorde aan iemand anders. So you're telling somebody the direct words of somebody else, but you're telling it to them in the indirect reason. Please note that die tye, the tenses never change. Look at this example here. Jan het gesê dat hy moeg is. Jan het gesê dat hy moeg is. Look at that sentence. That's written in the past tense. In other words, if I write this sentence in the indirect speech, then it's not going to change. I made a little mistake here. Okay, what is this nonsense? Okay, when did that happen? I thought I closed it. All right, so direct speech. Ek is moeg. Indirect. Jan het gesê dat hy moeg is. So the tense in those two sentences did not change. Remember, gebruik jou leestekens reg. Onthou, vraagtekens en uitroeptekens word nie in die indirekte rede gebruik nie. Die betekenis of gevoelswaarde of emosies wat oorgedra word vanuit die direkte rede word deur middel van woorde soos ontsteld, woedend of moedeloos gebruik. Don't worry, that entire paragraph was translated for you guys. Use punctuation correctly. Remember, stuff like question marks and exclamation marks are not used in the indirect speech. The meaning or emotional value or emotions that must be conveyed from the direct reason to the indirect reason are expressed through words such as upset, angry, and discouraged. So remember now, you're not going to write the direct words in the indirect reason. You're going to almost skinner it. You're almost going to tell it over to somebody. All right. Always, when you write from the direct to the indirect speech, the pronouns, die voornaamwoorde, gaan verander. So if the sentence said ek en jy in the direct speech, it's going to become hy of sy. If it says jou, direct, it becomes hom of haar. Myne en joune, syne of hare. Ons sin of julle sin word hulle sin. Tell me, do you understand so far? I'm not seeing anything. Are you guys suddenly not talking? Okay, hulle sê ja, juffrou. Okay, take a picture. I'm counting till 5 before we go on. Santa says, ma'am, I can't access the drive. Okay, did you type everything exactly correctly? Just make sure of that. Um, but yeah, it's strange because some of the other kids can actually. Have some of you tried to access the drive? Just indicate to me there, please. Can you guys access the drive? Maybe I typed it wrong. It can happen. So Lesedi, did you try or did you get access to it? Were you able to access? Okay, so Lesedi said I got access. Amugelang said no, miss. Okay. Okay, so Simone, because you're new here, I've got a Google Drive link where I put all the slides and some notes and stuff for the kids in there. So at the end of the lesson, I'll just show you the slide, and then you can go and visit the drive and get the stuff. So don't get too anxious. You'll have it. Okay, so Tetsa, if you could find it, and so maybe, and Tlanla, you must just check again. But okay, we must get to the work again. All right, so if you change, if you look at this sentence here, or this page here. Now, if I've got a sentence in the direct reason, and it's got one of these words in one of these phrases, then when you write it in the indirect speech, this is the word you're going to use. So, ach nee, I of I toch will become teleurgesteld. So you're going to perhaps say, Fani het teleurgesteld gesê dat. And then you're going to say what he said. Foei toch, sies toch becomes sympathiek. Wat of nooit of goeiste is verbaas. Vervlaks of deksels is ontsteld. Asseblief is beleefd. Dankie becomes waarderend. Eina of vervlaks becomes met 'n uitroep van pyn. Wonderlik of hoera is opgewonde. Maggies of sjoe is beïndruk. Gimpf, that is a tussenwerpsel, becomes ongelowig. En ja en nee become bevestigend of ontkennend. Take a picture. You'll have an idea when we see the sentences. So let's say that is just it's a sound. I can't make the sound. It's gonna sound funny, but it's literally when you say, "Phew, I don't like that." Okay, so it's just a sound you make um, of um, of disbelief or something like that, and then you say what you want to say in the sentence. So it's just a sound. Okay, all right. Have you take a picture? Good. I'm going on now. Other for the fact that pronouns change in the indirect speech, bijwoorden, adverbs also change. So adverbs of time, place, or plek will change as follow if the incident happened a long time ago. Listen to what I'm saying. Adverbs of time or place will change if the incident happened a long time ago. So if in the indirect speech we used no, then it's going to become to. Volgende week, die week daarna. Hierheen becomes daarheen. Vanjaar, daardie jaar. Hier word daar. Hiernatoe word daarnatoe. Do you see this? Guys, this changes is very important. It's literally, if you do not put the changes in, then your sentence will be incorrect. Even if you've got the idea of what's happening, if you didn't put it in or you didn't change, your sentence will be wrong. Then you lose 2 or 3 marks. And that's something you don't want, because this is literally something that you can go and study, and you've got access to my email, and you can ask me, and you can stop me, and you can just ask and say, ma'am, I don't understand. But you'll see all of this stuff when we do the examples. All right. Take a picture. I'm going to count till 5, then I go on to the next slide. Okay, so here they are done, so let's go on. All right. Then, from Mrs. Van Sale's PowerPoint, I got this. Now, this is stuff that you should remember. When we change a sentence from the direct to the indirect speech, we usually use, no, not usually, we always use a voegwoord. So, the voegwoorde that we use is dat, of, waarom, en de wie. So, hy sê dat hy moeg is. Sy vra of hy iets wil weet. Pa beveel dat. Sy vra waarom. Sy wil weet wie. Now, in most cases, if the person says something, then you say dat as a voegwoord in the indirect speech, and if they ask something, then you will use of. But we'll get there as well. Now, this is the important part. Elke keer as jy 'n voegwoord gebruik, moet jy oplet na die woordorde daarna. Now, you usually use voegwoorde or conjunctions from group 3. Now, remember what I taught you in the beginning of this term. If you use group 3 voegwoorde or conjunctions, the verb in the sentence will go to the back of the sentence. I'll show you this now. So just to recap, if we use a conjunction from group 3, then the verb will go to the end of the sentence in the indirect speech. Take a picture. Okay, then we go on. Now this is important. Listen carefully. Words that change from the direct to the indirect speech. The pronouns change as follow. Ek, jy, sy, hy, my, jou, haar, hom, ons, julle will change to hy of sy of hy of syne, hare of syne of hulle. So those pronouns change to these pronouns in the indirect speech. Vandag becomes daardie dag. Vanoggend becomes daardie oggend. Vanmiddag becomes daardie middag. En vanaand becomes daardie aand. So this is the bywoorde that change. Nou gister, die vorige dag. Gisteroggend, die vorige oggend. Gistermiddag, die vorige middag. Gisteraand, die vorige aand. Yes, I'm going through each of them, so bear with me. Môre becomes die volgende dag. Môreoggend, die volgende oggend. Môre middag, die volgende middag. Môre aand, die volgende aand. Gister becomes die vorige dag. This is repetitive. Eergister becomes 2 dae gelede of tevore. Naas eergister becomes 3 dae gelede of tevore. Môre becomes die volgende dag. Oormôre becomes oor 2 dae of 2 dae later. Nou becomes toe. Gelede becomes van tevore. Hier of hiernatoe becomes daar of daarnatoe. These words change. Do you see that? From the direct to the indirect speech. You've got 5 seconds to take a picture. Three, 2, 1, and I'm going on. Now, here is a few examples for you. Sentences written in the direct speech and then rewritten in the indirect speech. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them because otherwise we're going to sit here forever. But I'm going to go through, say, the first 3 and you'll get the idea from there. So this is a direct sentence. Pa sê, dubbelpunt, aanhalingstekens. Remember, if you don't have the dubbelpunt and the aanhalingstekens in the direct speech, the sentence is wrong. Ons het vanaand regtig lekker hier gekuier. This is the words that comes out of his mouth directly. If I write that very sentence into the indirect speech, Pa sê dat, remember, dat is a conjunction from group 3, which means the verb will go to the end of the sentence. Ons word hulle. Vanaand word daardie aand regtig lekker daar gekuier het. Look hier word daar. Again, if you do not change your pronouns and your adverbs in the indirect speech, then it will be wrong. Please note, again, as I said earlier, most of the time when the person says something, then the voegwoord that we use with that will be dat. Hy vra. When I ask something, I'm probably going to use the voegwoord of. Direct speech. Ma vra. Het jy gister hierdie stuk gras gesny, Piet? Look how it changes in the indirect speech. Ma vra vir Piet, because we cannot leave words out unless it's something with an emotion. Of, voegwoord, hy die vorige dag, jy gister, hierdie word daardie stuk gras gesny het. Then, die man sê, my dokter het eergister gesê dat hy nou op vakansie moet gaan. It will change to. Die man sê dat sy dokter 2 dae gelede gesê dat hy toe op vakansie moet gaan. Nou word toe. Do you understand this so far? There's one that I actually want to do more. Piet sê, dis my boek waarin jy skryf. Jan, it changes to. Piet sê dat dit my word sy boek is waarin Jan skryf. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough that you must go and study what words changes to in the indirect speech from the direct speech. Take a picture. Okay, if I can go on, the CD said, in Mosa said they are done, so I want to know if I can go on, please. Guys, we've done a lot this far, so please tell me if you understand so far. Don't be afraid to say, ma'am, I'm not there yet. Remember, this is a lot of studying. So even if you honestly gonna think and say, I can't remember everything now, don't worry, you're gonna have to go and study this. That's how you're gonna understand it. Okay, I'm going on. If most of you don't tell me, then I assume that you're going on. Now, what I've done here is I've got a wonderful resource. It's called Explore. Now, in this book, they give us the steps to write a sentence from the direct to the indirect speech, but in different sentences. So for instance, if it's a stelsin, how do I do it? If it's a question sentence, how do I change it? If it's a command, how do I change it? So there's a lot of steps that they've given us here. So let's see. If I've got a sentence, a stelsin, which is just a normal sentence, this is the steps that I'm going to follow to change it from the direct to the indirect speech. Look at this. I've got an example here. Die seun sê, dubbelpunt, and these direct words are, ek is deesdae die slimste ou in die skool. The boy says, these days I'm the most clever boy in the school. First step, you do not change the tense of the sentence. Moenie die tyd verander nie. The second step, you're going to write the sentence, die kind sê, then you're going to put in your conjunction. Remember what I said, if you use the word sê, then the conjunction is 90% of the time going to be dat. And then remember at the end of the sentence a verb will come because it's voegwoord 3. Number 3. Identifiseer en verander die voornaamwoorde, pronouns. If I say, die seun sê ek, ek is written in the first person, which means it's going to change to hy, which is third person, manlik. Die seun sê dat hy, ek word hy, and then the sentence will go on. After you've put in the conjunction or the pronoun, you are going to write the rest of the sentence. Die seun sê dat, 1 mark. Hy deesdae Toema's, die slimste ou in die hele skool is. Full stop. Do you understand how you change just a normal sentence from the direct to the indirect speech? And I'm just going to take you back to this slide. You can write it in any one of those three ways. Okay. Do you understand this, guys? Oh, guys, are you there? Are you sleeping? Almost done for today, guys. Almost done. I know you're tired. Ma'am, I don't know what ma'am, I don't know what to do. I think I'm confused. Ek was nie voor in die klas nie, juffrou. Ek weet nie hoe om die vorige werk te kry nie. Okay, Simone, ek wil gou hê jy moet vir my mooi luister. Al was jy nie in die vorige klasse nie, is dit okay. Ek het 'n Google Drive link. En as jy daai link gaan intik, dan gaan jy op hom klik en dan gaan jy 'n folder kry. En in daai folder is al die vorige lesse. Jy kan my ook e-mail. Ek gaan nou vir jou my e-mailadres gee. En dan kan ek en jy daar gesels oor wat jy nodig het. OK. So moenie bekommer nie. Jy gaan vinnig op datum wees. OK, Simone, verstaan jy wat ek nou gesê het? Ek wil nie jy moet bekommer nie. Jy gaan al die werk kry. OK. Nou, wanneer ek 'n bevelsin het, dis 'n plesier, Simone. A bevelsin is a command sentence. Now, it can either be written in the positive or in the negative. So as dit 'n positiewe bevelsin is, dan is hierdie 'n voorbeeld. Die seun sê, dubbelpunt, aanhalingstekens. Gee my net 'n kans om jou te wys hoe oulik ek is. The boy is saying, just give me a chance to show you how nice I am. First step. Moet nie die tyd verander nie. Remember, this sentence is written in the present tense, so it must be in the present tense in the indirect reason as well. First of all, we use the conjunction from group 3, that, which means that the verb will then go to the end of the sentence. Step 3, and this is important. Die hulpwerkwoord word gebruik by positiewe bevelsinne. So usually in a positive command, you will use a hulpwerkwoord. And it will be written just in front of the main verb. I'll show you now. Die seun sê dat voegwoord, then the rest of the sentence, moet nie. Moet is then my hulpwerkwoord. By bevele, step 4. Look at this. Look at this little pile that I drew here, arrow. The word moenie was combined by the words moet and nie, which is negative. Look at what I'm saying here. By bevele in die indirekte rede, moet jy die voornaamwoord invoeg. When I have a command sentence in the indirect speech, I am supposed to use the pronoun. Van die persoon of voorwerp of dier wat die bevele ontvang. You must use the pronoun, you must put the pronoun in order to, for the person, the subject and the animal that's getting the command. Look at the example. Die seun sê dat, voegwoord. That say is then the pronoun that changes. Nie, rest of the sentence. Look here. Moet, my hulpwerkwoord. And it comes in front of the main verb neersit nie. After you've identified or changed the sentences or changed these words, then the rest of the sentence will be written, which is tyd, voorwerp, wyse, plek en infinitief. You can also go and study Stompie here to do this. Look at the sentence. Die seun sê dat, the voegwoord, so there's step 2. Sy, step 4, the voornaamwoord. Nie die telefoon, moet, step 3, the moet, neersit, step 4, neersit nie. And then the rest of the sentence was put together. And that is the example. So I'm going to go up until here. for today. Please, Simone, I want you now to go to get out your phone and take a picture of this slide. I'm going to count till 10 in my head. Take a picture of this. And Tlanla, please take a picture of this as well so that you can just make sure that you've got the drive link correct. Okay, and Tlanla. Simone, tell me if you're done, please. Okay, so Simone, that is my email address. After today's lesson, just pop me an email, say Simone grade 8, and then we can have a conversation there to see where you come, what school you are and so on, so that, not school you are, where you are and how I can help you. Then, if you visit that link there, the Google Drive link, everything that we've done so far, you will find in that drive. So what I'd rather do is, Simone, maybe you should go on that drive link and see if you can access it. And then if you were able to access it, just send me an email, and then I'm going to send you the planning that I've done for the term so that you can identify the PowerPoints that you should choose. Okay, is that clear, Simone? Mossa, that's so good, that Afrikaans name. Simone, so just remember, go to the Google Drive there, see if you can identify everything that we've done for grade 8. Tell me if you could go in there, and then I'll just check the planning and make sure that you've got that slides. Okay, what do I always say in this class? Let me see. Sanitize your hands. Put on your masks. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, class. Julle rock.